Mary Jane Lafollette, longtime Williamsfield native. She has been responsible, for some of the alumni books, and we've just asked her to come in and discuss some of the local schools. Okay, if you can, without forgetting, hold your questions until maybe the end, and if she has a voice left, then we'll be able to answer them. Okay. Without further ado, Mary Jane, thank you.
Okay, the charm of the old school days never wears off. I'm Mary Jane McNaught Lafollette, and my family lived northwest of Williamsfield in Snake Den Hollow. West Truro was a country school 2 miles west of where we lived. West Truro closed in the late 1930s. My dad had gone to West Truro. Truro Country School was 1.5 miles east of where we lived. That was at Four Corners by about at Don Mackey's. Truro closed in 1942. I have a copy of a 1899 to 1900 brochure when my grandpa Robert Lang went to Truro School. It has the list of all the names of the pupils that went to, was at that time, 1899 to 1900. Lappin School was 2.5 miles southeast of where we lived. I went to Lappin School grades 1 through 4. Lappin School sat high on the banks of the Spoon River by Lappin Bridge, and wooden stairs had been built on the side of the hill to get up to the school. The other way to get to the school was walk up the hill on the other side. We either walked to and from school or our parents took us. Sometimes the roads would be so muddy that it wasn't easy for a car to get through. School was 9 to 4 with a 1 hour and 10-minute lunch, a 10-minute recess. All day during the school hours we would be quiet. I think that's funny because we would be quiet all day. The school had one big room and an entryway where we hung our coats and our lunch pails. The pot-bellied stove set in the big room. The coal house is near the school. 2 outside toilets, one for the boys and one for the girls. The flag was an awesome sight as the flagpole set high on the hill near the school. Lappin School did not have a well. The students had to walk to the neighbors to get a pail of water. The water pail sat on the shelf in the entryway. Everyone drank out of the same dipper to drink the water out of the pail. I won't even drink out of anybody today. One day Ruth Ann and I went to get the water. We were on our way back and Gwendolyn yelled, "You girls better hurry, there's a tramp coming down the road." Everybody should know what a tramp is. We ran as fast as we could, carrying the pail of water. We told the teacher a tramp was coming. She locked the doors. In a while we looked out the window. We could see the tramp sitting on the back steps at Moore's. Gwendolyn had given him breakfast. In the afternoon, the door still locked. There was a knock on the door. The teacher asked one of the students to go to the door because she usually went to the door when somebody knocked on the door, but she asked one of the students to go to the door. It was Harrison Spencer, another neighbor, to come see if we were all right. And tramps possibly didn't do anything like they do today. When I went to Lappin School, there were 10 to 12 students. School books were used over and over, sometimes had to be shared because there wasn't enough books. An important day was when County Superintendent J.R. Peck came to visit. It was almost like the president was coming. He came in his suit and tie and stood really tall, and morning started with the Pledge of Allegiance. We were taught reading, writing, arithmetic, spelling, geography, penmanship, and music. We learned a lot. The teacher would call one class at a time to go to the recitation bench in front of the desk. We would go outside for noon hour, eat our lunch, and play the fun games, handy eye over the coal house, hide and seek, drop the hanky, ring around the rosy. At the bottom of the hill was a small flat area where we had ball games. We slid downhill in the winter. A gathering at the school is one, aside from the enjoyment of meeting the neighbors, is the Christmas program, including the recitation, music, and a play. Each has a piece to speak, and several times all together on the stage with the teacher and sing songs. What happier, let's see, for the play. Days moved along pleasantly. The schoolhouse had been swept out very clean for the event. The grand occasion was the last day of school when the parents came for a potluck dinner. School was dismissed and we were out the door rejoicing. What happier experience does life bring in the carefree days than one spends in a country school? Lapham School closed in 1950. Lapham School was the best country school. That's my opinion. It's where I learned everything. Most of the places where a country school have been, there isn't anything to indicate that a school was there. Some of the places where a school was at a location is Salem Cemetery. The Salem Schoolhouse was beside the cemetery, and I go there often, or once in a while, because my great grandfather was buried there. Stump Valley School, Centennial, and Dixie School have houses at those locations. Dixie School was 3 miles northeast of Williamsfield. I have a May 1917 souvenir of Dixie School pamphlet when one of my aunts was a student at Dixie School. I have the original, and it's and real neat little, with listing all the students. My husband Bill Lafollette went to Dixie School. Dixie School closed in 1950. The school was sold and converted into a house. We bought the house from the original owners for $2,000. There was no running water. When I retired, we paid $4,000 for one window for our house that we have built at that location. I have lived at that location for 64 years. Where's the school song?
Oh, we're ready? Hang on.
Okay, we got a song. We got school days here. You want to sing with this? Man can sing.
You are my queen in Calico. I was your backward barefoot foe, and your own on my sleigh. I love you, Joe, when we were a couple of kids. and you don't on my string. I love you, Joe, when we were a couple of kids.
YouTube Premium is ad-free.
I have this my mother made me. It's country schoolhouse houses. My mom made that for me. I'm gonna donate that to the Historical Society. Then I have my book that I made for the alumni book. And then I just have the original pages that I made it from. And there's the school days sheet music. And then there's a country school. There's the country school, and it's a neat book about the country schools and the administration of village schools. I just happened to, I think my sister bought them for me once, and I would like to donate them to this Historical Society, and this to the Historical Society.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's it. I'm gonna read these look at these names on these things, on these brochures if you want.
Mary Jane, who was your teacher?
It was Levita Switzer, Levita Riggins. She was Levita Riggins. Well, first off was Isabel Gray. Isabel Gray
And
was
Isabel,
the, yeah, she was an awesome teacher. She was
Yeah,
like
she was good.
Was she a sister to Lester?
she was,
Was she a sister to your dad?
No, she was Uncle Jim's, Grandpa Gray's brother's wife.
Oh,
Floyd
Jim.
Irving, remember Pooh Gray?
oh yeah.
mhm.
It was his mother.
Yeah,
okay.
she was
Okay, sure.
she was an awesome teacher. I should have. I have a pic. I actually have a picture with 10 students and her as a teacher. It's awesome. And then for first and second grade, and then Levita Riggin was when I was in third grade. Then she got married to Bill Switzer when I was in the fourth grade. She was. And I think actually Lena and Clell would come and help her, fill the stove with the coal and help do things like that. Here's something fun about that. I think Bill Switzer was in the military, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, when he came home one time from the military, he came to the schoolhouse door, and came into the schoolhouse and stood at the door, and I think Levita was at the piano, maybe we were having music or something, but he stood there and sang Pretty Baby. He just barrel that out. Everybody loves the baby. I told that to Levita, not very many years, not before she passed, but I told her that was really that was just something that I picture in my mind.
Yeah.
And she had tears in her eyes, because that was their younger days when they were an awesome couple.
Who were the 10 in your class, Mary Jane?
They were all not in my class.
Well, in that school.
Roger Gibson was in my class. Now and Ruth Ann Moore was the grade behind me. So then she got to go to the recitation bench by herself. And I thought I would like to have been there by myself. And then, of course, Jim, my brother, and first Thelma Arnold. When I first in first grade, Thelma Arnold and Nick Peterson, and let's see, Thelma Arnold, and then Dolores, my sister, and Jim, my brother, and then Clifford Tanner and Doris Tanner and Lucille.
Yeah.
Betty and Bonnie.
And Betty and Bonnie. Well, yeah, they were a year, of course, 2 years behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. Two.
And then one time there was Harry Nina Ives had hired a man, had two kids that went there. Cecil, and I remember their names, Cecil and Janice Smith.
Oh, it was first grade through
Was what?
first grade through what?
first through eighth.
Through
I think
eighth,
Thelma
okay.
might have been in the 8th grade, and Nick Peterson, they were in like the 8th grade when I was in maybe the 1st grade.
Mary Jane, I just want to tell you that those books that you printed, they are the best books were ever printed. I've almost worn mine out. It's my Bible. It sits
That's
right
what-
by my
that's
chair.
what-
Bible.
That's what
I
they
want
call-
you to finish them now.
That's when they call it in the elevator, get the Bible out.
Yeah, that's
We use ours all the time.
We use that one almost every day.
Mary Jane, there's a good book at the you can get at the library, and it's Country Schools of Knox County. And if there was anything left, there's a picture of them that if they could had a picture of it's in that book. It's a pretty good little book if you
I
could
think I
find it
had
to
that.
read
I
it.
think I
Have you
had
had
it.
it?
At the Galesburg Library.
Yeah, I think I had that. I think I donated.
We're all night.
I think we've got it.
I think I donated that here. I got that. I think I donated that here. Yeah.
So the days you walked to school, how'd you like walking across Lafollette Bridge?
I would not run across I would run across Lapham Bridge. The other kids would lay down on the bridge and look through the cracks. I would run, and to this day, I don't breathe when we go over a bridge. I don't breathe.
How many miles
I
was
was in
that,
the
Mary
first,
Jane?
second grade.
on the Pontchartrain.
How many miles was that?
It was like 2 miles and 4/10 from our house.
Did you just do 2 books?
Yes, I did that. I thought I had the big idea I'd do it every 5 years, but guess what happened? I did one in 1999, and in 2004 would have been 100 years, I guess. And actually, I mean, another one could be done, but people like the country, actually like the country schools, that part, that section of the book could be put in every one of them, I guess.
Well, that's a lot of work.
It was, Danette Dubit helped me a lot. Danette helped me, and it was kind of fun. It wasn't hard. It was pretty fairly easy because at that time we knew everybody. Now I don't know the students, but but it was fairly easy to do.
You got you got the updated addresses you said from the reunion. So
Some of them we do.
The what?
from the reunion that we
Oh,
had.
sure. Some people, they said don't even want they just want the names. It's not, because the addresses,
Change.
a lot of people's addresses change, but mine, mine doesn't, but it would be easy to do. In fact, I have some left of that second one that I could kind of might have somebody help me to that.
And she's retired now.
I mean, it's pretty easy to do. Just get the names and.
The pictures, do the school still has the pictures?
I don't know about that. I know they took all the ones down.
They're supposed to be stored somewhere, I think.
Yeah. If somebody needs to go to the room, go where they're stored, they might be in the dumps too.
I mean, a lot of people would go to school events. I'd see a lot of people looking at those pictures. I'd like to see them back up.
But yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, some people say, well, the addresses might not be necessary, just the names of the students. But that would be easy. I could probably. I have some left from before that didn't, the second one that I could probably.
It went to 2004, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I could probably get the names from the class pictures and put it together.
Just print the pages, and if they have one, they could.
Well,
Stick it in.
it's leaning that way. And
What?
so you said, is that a commitment? Or I said, that's leaning that way.
Well, the part she's not telling you guys is she's finishing up a book about family history.
About our family, about life growing up in the country. My brothers and sisters and my parents. I've got a book almost completed, almost ready to go to the printing company. It's got like 700 pages.
Oh my goodness.
It started, I got it started with my mom's and dad's parents and grandparents. It starts out with our ancestors from both sides, the McNaughts, and my mom was a Lang. So it starts out with those people, and then then how my mom and dad came together. My mom and dad's life, their life, briefly growing up, and then how my mom and dad came together, and then our life growing up in the country. Our 10 in our family, my seven brothers and sisters. Our life in the country, and then my mom kept journals sporadically through the 60s and 70s, and the early 70s, and then a journal till 2001 when she passed away. And so everybody, all my family, one was interested in those journals. So then I've got all that in a book, almost ready to be printed. And the best part, one part of that is that we thought we were poor growing up in the country, but we had everything.
Everything you needed.
We had our parents, and we had food, we had clothing, we had heat, we had everything, but we didn't have money. We always had food. We never wanted for anything like that. And so then, most of you know Nina and Perry Ives. You know, they didn't have any children, but they obviously had a lot of land and some money. And so then we thought they were, you know, rich. They had the nice farm equipment and everything. So when mom went to Perry Ives' visitation, Nina Ives said to my mom, "You are rich." So that's the name of my book. You Are Rich.
That's good.
Okay, 1950, those schools closed. Where'd they go? Williamsfield?
We went to Williamsfield. That was a big deal.
You started high school?
That was like, oh my gosh. And talk about weird. Like I was weird anyway, but I actually went in the. Then we rode the bus.
Yeah.
Rode the bus to school.
Yeah.
And then I was in the 5th grade, and the 5th and 6th grade was together in one room because there wasn't enough room at the grade school. The 5th and 6th grade was together in one room, and then they brought in the Centennial School, which is out there on the Dehinda Road by where. Yeah, that's Centennial. They brought that school in and attached it to the grade school, so there was one class went there.
My class actually went
Sure.
to Centennial in the 4th grade.
Yeah, and that my sisters Bonnie was
Bonnie and
yeah,
Jenny and Bonnie.
and
yeah.
Bonnie was telling me the other day when I was talking about coming here. She said when you guys went to Lapham School, there was a goat came into the schoolhouse.
Centennial.
Centennial. There was a goat came into the schoolhouse.
Walked right up to the teacher.
And so then it must have belonged to Kelso's, and one of the Kelso boys took it and took it home.
Was your teacher Mrs. Bumgardner that year?
Yes.
I didn't have Mrs. Bumgardner. I had Winnie Smith was the best teacher ever.
Yes.
She was like the
One of
best,
my favorite
best
forever.
teacher.
We had her in the 4th grade and then come back into Williamsfield and had her
Brand
in
new
the
building.
6th grade.
5th grade was a brand new building.
Right. Yeah.
Mrs. Bumgarner was
They had a secret garden to us, and she'd read so much.
How many schools combined in 1950? Do you know? Just the two from north, or how many?
No, I think everybody did. Everybody did.
Senator Prairie came in 50, must have been 51.
Yeah, about that same time it all came. Yeah. Then DeHenda came when we were in the when I was in the 7th grade.
You know, Mary Jane, we were kind of like you. We didn't have much, but we had what we needed.
Right.
Called that love.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys coming.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, I got to get the
Yes, you did. You missed